Welcome back to the Banganator podcast, brought to you by your host, Esley Banga. Season 2, Episode 8, and the Texas Rangers won the World Series. 2023 World Series champions, baby. Let's go. I've been waiting for this all my life. My whole entire life I've been waiting for this. We came close in 2020 and 2011, but now the Texas Rangers, after their 63rd year in existence and 52nd year in Texas, we here. Champions, baby. Let's go. Shoot. Y'all know I gotta show off that hat, that championship hat. The same one that the Texas Rangers were wearing the day of the parade. Let's go. How'd that look? How'd that look? Let's freaking go. Texas Rangers, we up. Y'all know I was at the parade. I was having fun with some friends of mine, and it was a sight to see. I always wondered how a DFW parade would look like if I was in it. Because, you know, I was 12, 13, 11, 12 years old whenever the Mavs won it in 2011. This is my first parade, and I want to go to many more. Hey, Rangers, let's run it back. Cowboys, I don't know about them, but Mavs, come on, let's do something. Dallas Stars, y'all were in it 3 years ago. Y'all made it to the conference finals last season. Come on, DFW, we got to get another parade. But I'm going to get right into this World Series analysis. In Game 1, the Rangers won 6-5. They were losing 5-3, and then Corey Seager hit a 2-run homer in the 9th. That was lit. That I don't even know how to explain it. I was at Texas Live. I watched every single game at Texas Live. Whenever we were losing 5-3, some of my friends they started walking off. Some people left. I always like to stay just to see what's gonna happen. Corey Seager hit that 2-run homer in the 9th, and yeah, the whole place went crazy. We tied it up, tied 5-5. And then, in the 11th inning, Adolis Garcia, El Bombi, hit a walk-off home run in the 11th. Legendary. Adolis Garcia, you a legend for real. You a Texas legend for real. Game 2 in Arlington. The Diamondbacks won 9-1, and that was disappointing. Mitch Garver hit a home run in the 5th, making it our only score of the game. But 9-1 blowout. I was extremely disappointed, and I realized, yeah, this could be a dogfight. I was like, this can go 6 or 7. I was nervous because we very well could have lost Game 1. Very well could have lost Game 1 if not for the heroics of Seager and Garcia. Game 3 in Arizona. The Rangers won 3-1. Corey Seager hit a home run in the 3rd, making the score 3-0. And then the Diamondbacks hit a home run in the 8th, making it 3-1, but it wasn't enough to come back. They ran out of innings. We took it. At this point, we led the series 2-1. Game 4 in Arizona. The Rangers won 11-7. When Simeon hit a home run in the 3rd, the score was 10-0. 10-0. It was only the 3rd inning. What? I was like, yeah, we winning this for sure. For sure. We going up 3-1, and we winning the World Series. Ain't no doubt about it. Now, I ain't going to lie. The Rangers did kind of make me nervous a little bit whenever the Diamondbacks, they hit home runs in the 8th and 9th to bring their score to 7. They scored 7 runs. I was like, okay, all right, chill, calm down. We stepped off the gas pedal a little too much. But we had hit another home run, and the score was 11-7. That's how it ended. Game 5. Even though mostly everybody figured that we were going to win in this game, ended in this game. We didn't want it to come back to Arlington because Game 5 was in Arizona. We were like, okay, let's end it right now. But it was 0-0 the whole entire game until Mitch Garver batted in Seager's run, and I think that was in the 7th or 8th. And then it was 3-0 after 2 more runs were batted in. And then Marcus Semien hit a home run, two-run home run to bring the score to 5-0. And we were World Series champs, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Like I said, I was at Texas Live for every single one of those games. So I was with some friends of mine. We was going crazy. We was getting lit. We was celebrating. It was fun. It was a fun ride. Fun ride. And I felt a sports high like no other. That adrenaline rushing through your veins. It was amazing. And I wasn't even on the field playing with them. I'm not a player, but as a fan, as a diehard fan, it's an amazing feeling to watch your team win the championship. A feeling that I didn't truly appreciate whenever the Mavs won it because I was still a young kid. So here are some of the accomplishments that the Rangers had during the postseason while winning the championship. 11-0 on the road in the postseason, making it the most road wins in a single postseason in MLB history. Can y'all believe that? And then on top of that, look at the word road. R-O-A-D. Let's break it down. R for the Tampa Bay Rays. We swept them. O for the Baltimore Orioles. We swept them and won all the games on the road. A for the Houston Astros. And then D for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Games 3, 4, and 5, we won. So the 2023 Texas Rangers, wow. And I should have known whenever they started off 40-20 in their first 60 games to start the season. And for the longest, they were at the top of the whole entire league. So I should have known back then that something special was coming, but nobody could have anticipated this. Corey Seager won MVP, which he deserved. And he almost reached the record for the most home runs by a shortstop in a single postseason. Derek Jeter has the record with 20. Corey Seager had 19. So he was close. He was close. So Corey Seager is something special. This is also Corey Seager's second championship. He won the World Series in 2020, that COVID year. And that COVID year, the World Series was held at Globe Life Field here in Arlington. So foreshadowing. We didn't know, but it was some foreshadowing. Our manager, Bruce Bochy, this is his 4th World Series win. I only learned this like maybe last week or 2 weeks ago that he actually came out of retirement just last year to manage the Rangers. And first year, we win the chip. How special is that? And he had a bunch of achievements too. Never lost a game 7. Never lost a game 7. So when we beat the Astros in game 7, yeah, huge accomplishment for Bruce Bochy. He kept the streak going. And moving forward, I mean, it's hard to move forward after such a wild ride, and when we just won the chip. But Bruce Bochy is coming back for 2024. He ain't going nowhere. We re-signed Jose Leclerc, and Shohei Ohtani wants to come to Arlington. He wants to come to the Texas Rangers. We all know how Shohei Ohtani is the modern day Babe Ruth. Not only can he pitch, but he can hit home runs like no other. As good as Corey Seager and as good as Adolis Garcia. So I hope we land him. Hopefully he doesn't cost too much, but I mean, it is what it is. I hope we land him. It'll just be the rich getting richer. But we really are in prime position to run it back. At first, I was skeptical. I was like, it's too good to be true. I don't think we can run it back. I don't think we can go back to back. Because we are running it back, but we're not breaking up the core group. But I don't think we can make it back to back. But we'll see. We'll see. We got a really good chance since we're re-signing a bunch of guys and Bruce Bochy is coming back. We'll see. I'm gonna finish this Texas Rangers segment with this. Just like Corey Seager said, I wonder what would have happened if the Texas Rangers didn't win the World Series. I guess we'll never know. Not to bring the mood down, but the Cowboys lost against the Eagles. America's game of the week on Sunday, and it was a good game. It was a good game, but we lost 23-28. Let me just jump right into it. Dak went 29-44, which ain't that great. Barely above 50% passing. 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now, in terms of the amount of attempts that Dak had, and then 374 yards and 3 touchdowns, that's a good performance right there. That's, I would say, Dak's greatest performance this season. Tony Pollard had 51 rushing yards, which isn't great. I know Dak had 14 rushing yards, but we just need to be better in the running game. CeeDee Lamb had 191 yards. Oh my goodness. CeeDee Lamb going off the past 2 weeks, and I'm proud of CeeDee. He been stepping up. He didn't have any touchdowns, but I'm glad that he was targeted a lot, and it just speaks to the confidence that Dak Prescott has in CeeDee, and how CeeDee has just stepped up, making big plays, getting yards after catch, getting a bunch of receptions. I love it. Jake Ferguson, he's a huge target too for Dak. 91 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Tolbert had 49 yards and 1 touchdown. Defensively, the only things that stood out was we had 3 sacks on Jalen Hurts. Sam Williams was one of them. And in the kicking game, Brandon Aubrey made a 51-yard field goal, making him go 19 for 19 on field goals this season. And he broke the record for the most consecutive field goals to start a career. Without a miss. Let me add that in there. That's important. Without a miss. So, Brandon Aubrey, I'm glad that we found him. Ever since Dan Bailey, we hadn't had a consistent kicker. We always had kickers that could kick far, but just not consistent. This dude, Brandon Aubrey, he's that guy. He's that guy. And just some key points, some key takeaways from this game. Dak played arguably his best game of the season, but it still wasn't enough. He still made a few mistakes, just a few. Like whenever at the end of the game to score, and after we scored to make it 23, to get 23 points, and going for the 2-point conversion, he scrambled to the right, and diving for the pylon, he stepped out of bounds. Now, I'm not going to crucify him too much for that, but it's just, you just can't. That was a crucial mistake, because after that, we had 2 more chances to go down the field and score, and we could have even kicked a field goal to tie it if he made that 2-point conversion, bringing it to 25 points. 28-25, we would have needed just a field goal. And Brandon Aubrey, he's Mr. Automatic. So with Dak Prescott stepping out of bounds, that 2-point conversion was a no-go, and the score stayed 28-23. And because of that, we needed a touchdown. And we just couldn't. Another issue, we couldn't get a touchdown, even with 2 more chances after that. So mistakes ended up costing us in the end. Penalties, like holding, false start, delay a game, poor clock management, not taking advantage of opportunities. The Eagles didn't play that well, and we couldn't take advantage. The Eagles didn't play that well, especially at the end. They gave us opportunities to go down and score and get a touchdown and take the lead, but we just couldn't do it. And that's where, like, we just got to be great offensively as a whole. I'm not putting it all on Dak. Offensively as a whole, we just got to be great. Play calling, we got to be great. Coaching, we got to be great. So it seems like even though we played almost at our best, we still lost when the Eagles didn't play at their best, especially at the end. So that sucked against the Eagles. It was a huge rivalry game. Like I said, America's game of the week at that late afternoon slot. It sucked that we lost, especially against the Eagles. I hate them. All Cowboys fans hate the Eagles. All Eagles fans hate the Cowboys. But it sucks that we got the best of us. But we'll see what we'll see what we can do in our second matchup of the season later in, I think, December. The Cowboys do play the Giants this upcoming Sunday. The Giants are 2-7. They lost to the Raiders 6-30. They got a backup QB named Tommy DeVito. I almost keep wanting to call him Danny DeVito. The Giants ain't nothing this season. And I believe the Cowboys will win pretty convincingly. Now, the Cowboys do have to still play well. Don't play like you did against the Cardinals. All right. But, yeah, the Cowboys will win and we'll sweep them on the season. Obviously, we had that 40-point shutout against them to open up the season. But, yeah, Cowboys going to win that game. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Banganator's top banging moments of Week 9 in the NFL. Coming in at number 4, the Raiders win big after hiring a new head coach. Obviously, the Raiders fired Josh McDaniels last week. They hired Antonio Pierce as interim head coach. I don't even know who that is. They won 30-6 versus the Giants, and they celebrated big in the locker room after. I was watching videos of Max Crosby going live. Now, I don't really like that. It's kind of a weird look, acting like you won the Super Bowl. But from players' perspective, I kind of get it, because y'all been trash with Josh McDaniels, and then winning so dominantly. Yeah, go ahead, turn up. At number 3, C.J. Stroud's performance versus the Buccaneers. C.J. Stroud went 30 of 42, 470 yards, 5 touchdowns. Stroud led the game-winning drive, ending in a 15-yard touchdown pass to win the game. The defense got a stop and won the game 39-37. Hey, Stroud, he looking like the rookie of the year right now. If he keep this up, he might even be in consideration for MVP. So keep looking out for Stroud. At number 2, I got the Cowboys versus Eagles game. It was a big-time rivalry game, Cowboys versus Eagles. It goes back, way back, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. They never let up. Usually it's always close games. This one was close, back and forth. And to be honest, it felt like a playoff game. I was on the edge of my seat until the very last drive. And at number 1, Josh Dobbs, game winner against the Falcons. Now, Joshua Dobbs was traded from the Cardinals to the Vikings last week before the trade deadline. He barely even knew the plays. He barely even knew his teammates' names. In the game, they were down 24-28. Dobbs led a game-winning drive, including a clutch 22-yard scramble on 4th down and a touchdown pass to win the game. Vikings won 31-28. So those are my top banging moments of Week 9. The Raiders winning big with their new head coach. C.J. Stroud's performance against the Bucks. The Cowboys versus Eagles rivalry game. And Josh Dobbs' amazing game winner against the Falcons. Let me know if y'all agree, if y'all would change up anything on the list. Texas Longhorns won 33-30 against K-State. We continuing on our farewell tour, Big 12 farewell tour, and we ended our rivalry with K-State with a dub. Now, there are a few things that was concerning, but and it was a close game, closer than it should have been, but we still got the dub nonetheless. Texas was up 21-7 in the first half. And then in the second half, the Texas defense disappeared like a bunny in a magician's hat. I don't know why. Steve Sarkisian, you the head coach, you need to address that. Defensive coordinator, you got to fix that. Now, I know the players play, but whenever you let them catch back up and tie back up in the second half, like, that falls on coaching too. So obviously the defense let K-State catch back up 30-30, but Texas ended up winning 33-30 in overtime. Offense is doing its job. especially with our quarterback Malik Murphy putting in work, receivers going off. Jonathan Brooks continues to go off. Elsewhere in the Big 12, OU lost to Oklahoma State, so they got 2 losses now. We only got 1 loss, making us back at the top of getting us back at the top of the Big 12. Texas plays TCU, and I believe that's in Fort Worth. I gotta work. Otherwise, I would have went to that game. But TCU is 4-5. They don't got a winning record, and I believe that Texas will win that game. The defense just needs to play better, and they're playing good, but they just need to not let their foot off the gas. So just defense play complete game. Offense, if you can continue scoring a little bit a little bit more in the fourth quarter, that would be great. We need to stomp out these teams early, especially these teams that aren't that good. TCU being 4-5, you should pretty much dominate the whole way through. This ain't the NFL where a win is a win. This is college football where rankings are on the line, conference championships are on the line, and potential playoff berths are on the line. Especially with only 4 teams making the college football playoffs, which is why I'm glad they're expanding it. But Texas, you need to dominate. Other than that, Texas gonna get that dub. Hook 'em. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of the Banganator podcast. Please like and subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Instagram at the Banganator podcast and also on the Twitter X at BanganatorPod_4. Cowboys play the Giants on Sunday. Let's get that dub, Cowboys. And one more time, the Texas Rangers are the 2023 World Series champions. Let's go.
The Banganator podcast is brought to you by Esley Banga, diehard fan of the Dallas Cowboys since 1997. How about them Cowboys?